Alright my friends, so now when we figure out all these broken traces and we have both channels working left and right, we have to address our tape mechanism. First of all, it's grinding noises, secondly this freaking annoying shutting off all the time. So for this we have to remove this front panel, unscrew it and get access to the tape mech. So I'm gonna do this off camera and then we'll together gonna look at the tape mech when I get much closer to it. Alright my friends, so I have removed the front cover or front bezel and now I have access to the tape mech over here. I didn't took it apart, but at least I have access to it, and I also prop it on this yogurt container in order to get better view of what's going on. So for now I'm not gonna dig too far. Looks like removing the tape mech completely out of here will be a little bit of a challenge, just because looks like someone forgot to drill 2 holes right on this side. There is no hole, so some screws are right behind this metal panel. Like, how do I supposed to remove them? So technically, if I actually need to remove them, either I have to remove and hold this corner and free it up somehow. Yeah, maybe that's what I will have to do, so remove all this corner. But another deck, there are 2 special holes to access, which will prevent you to remove all this part of the deck. You just unscrew from inside and you remove this. So, but whatever. First I try to remove just this metal, the plasticky thingy, and see what's going on there. So I removed this panel, and right here we have this nice, actually aluminum, not plastic, contraption with reflector and a light guide. So in some other decks, this also used as a detector, is a motion detector and rotation detector, but not in this particular deck. This is just for the elimination purposes of the tape well. Right, I have found a very interesting discovery. Take a look, take a listen. Oops. I have to remove brakes, so I depress brake mechanism manually, and here. That's not supposed to be happening. Here's the other side. Well, it's much slower because it's under tension. Wow, yeah. And when you do, for example, rewind, do you hear this noise? That's not good at all. Click, 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 click. It has this clicking noises. So you have to take a look. What is that? For me, it looks like something got dislodged here. So we have to maybe take a look. Looks like idler tires are actually in a good shape. This is good. So this is a real motor, and the idler tire are just right here, and it's a good shape. Very easy to access. Actually, it's I think it's 1 screw, and you can completely remove all this contraption without taking the whole mech out. That's really good if you want to change your idler tire. Also, belt for the counter, here it is. It's totally missing, so I would install it. It was probably got rotten or something. So at first I thought this idler, this belt is got lodged here and causing this sort of a weird noises, but no, it is not. So we have to take a look what's going on there. Unfortunately, I don't know how to proceed any further, because I don't know if I can. How easily removable is this thing? Okay, probably just pop this little stopper out and try to remove it this way, but potentially I have to do that. But I don't really want to actually get into the tape mech completely to disassemble it. But I might need to do this anyways because of the grinding noises from the flywheel. Okay, so let's remove this spindle here, or reel, pickup reel. Okay, I think I see a problem. This was dislodged, so I think this could be a pretty high chance this could be a problem, that our playback was stopping intermittently. Okay, because that, and also making rattling noises. So this is clearly, so we have to use a glue in order to glue this thing back on. Okay, so I'm gonna glue it back on, let it dry, double check if it sits well, and we'll continue. Should I clean up this old glue? I'll clean up this old glue as well. Wow. Like, I was just wondering how come this cassette deck was bashed so badly that many things just got fallen falling out. This is ridiculous. I hope this glue is still okay, because I haven't used it for ages. Looks like we have an issue with glue. Okay, let's apply a little bit of glue. I think it's here or not. Hey, glue. Okay, this is our glue. Let's try to apply this glue. This is supposed to last for a really long time. I'm gonna apply a little bit on these little holes. And put it back in place. Obviously not to get any glue getting into the inside, and then press it like this. Alright, this should be good. So before I install this, I let it dry. I want to make sure it's holding well, you know. Okay, I will let it dry right here. So now, after our thingy dried pretty well, let's install it back on this spindle. And let's use the little plasticky stopper. Hope it's still in a good shape to do its stopping job. Oops, that was hilarious. Yeah, it's not really, it's very finicky, this teeny tiny thing. It has to be... Yikes. It's not easy to do at all. Okay, I think we have it. Oh, we don't. No. Now we have it. Okay. Okay, so let's test it. Okay, let's test it. Okay, let's just power it up. Okay, let's play something. Let's play actual cassette. See how long it's gonna last. It's there is a signal here on both channels. Obviously the calibration gonna be whole different story. Also I have to replace this belt, I have to look for one. Let's stop it, let's forward. Let's stop it, let's play again. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it like this, you know, play to the end of the cassette and see if it's actually gonna work, and we're not gonna wait for you with you about it. Alright my friends, so it looks like we have a success. Cassette tape finished all the way to the end, so our problem is solved. So this area can be closed. So before I actually, you know, put this all back, I have to think about two problems. Number one, which is easy, clean up heads even better, because there is a very nice access, so I can just clean them up. That's I'm gonna do probably off camera. That's clean up is very easy. Just use alcohol and rub and clean up heads and the pinch roller and the capstan this axle. The other problem, maybe also, yeah, no, this is looking good. The other problem, that's the flywheel itself, or capstan wheel, actually making noises when it's horizontal. Like this, it's actually perfect. When it is horizontal, it is making noises. So because of this, I have to think and come up with some kind of solution, you know, to have minimal disassembly required. So I will try to access the capstan wheel on this side, not unscrewing the whole thing, just try to access it on that side and try to mitigate the problem. If not, I would have to completely disassemble these jaws, and this is pain in arse. So for now, let me clean up those things, and I will think what I can do about a capstan. So now when we are done with the cleaning up, I need to find appropriate a counterbelt. So this guy is supposed to be right here. Let me use this helping thingy to see if that's gonna be good. Or I need something smaller. Let me do this first. I guess it'll be easier. Install it here first. Yeah, maybe. Okay, let me power this guy up. Use my tape and play something. Yeah, this grinding noise. Ta-da! This little belt gonna fix itself because it's all twisted, but it is working. Let me. Alright, it's going forward, going reverse. We're good. Stop. Yeah, this grinding noise is very annoying, so that I definitely have to address. Let's put those old ones back in, and let's try to address the capstan. I also have to install back this plate. This plate has to go back before I start playing with capstan. Right, this is supposed to be here, and I probably gonna use this tape in order to tape it. This tape, yeah, because it's just gonna be all over the shop. Okay. I hope this belt not gonna rub. No, probably not. Okay, I will quickly do that, and we will continue with the. Also, I would recommend to remove all these things because they will not let you properly shift this board out. So you have to remove these for sure, for sure. So now, and maybe even power one here, because it's gonna be hanging on it and essentially, or eventually gonna be broken. Here we are, so this is the power one. So I have to MacGyver something for this guy. Okay. Now, you are free to turn the whole contraption a little bit. Oh, this now interfering, so I have to cut this guy. You know, now you can do this. And now you have access to the capstan. Okay, now we have to unscrew. Oh, that's really tight. Oh, it was even paint locked. I have to unscrew this, remove this as well. Then not forget to put it back, of course. Wow, we have 4 of those. This one I will remove right away because it's gonna be all this contraption to slow door open. Gonna put it right here, one thing. And this one, probably the toughest one, because it's first of all wire wrapped and also it is quite awkward. Okay, let's free some wires. Now the most awkward thing, probably try to use this little screwdriver. And good that we did not secure this board. Maybe have to remove this one and that one. Holy smokes, that's just a... Okay, my god. I will do, it's easier to do by hands. Oh my god. Wow, super awkward. It's the worst. It's one of the worst deck to work on, the tape mech, I mean. The same was for CD401. This tape mech is really awkward. Okay, now we can remove the motor. So here's our motor. Remove this wire. Okay. Very tiny belt as usual and surprisingly tiny. Okay, let's pull the capstan out. And see what the heck is going on here. Okay. So clearly we see that the capstan rubs in here. No, in this capstan contraption. I forgot the name of it. In this axle. So it was supposed to be a washer here. Well, it exists. It looks like it receded quite. Come back here. Actually, this washer is fine. Huh, interesting. This washer, this tiny washer is actually fine. Sorry, I'm not wrapping up. Maybe again during the impact something happened. I hope the... Okay, gonna clean up this for sure. I hope this one didn't... No, this is pretty secure. This is secure. Okay, good. Let me check something else. Uh-huh. It feels like the bearing actually fell. The bearing, the bushing actually fell down. This is not good, I think. Like, how this is supposed to be happening again? Probably thanks to the freaking impact. How would I depress it out? That's essentially what's happening. This thing... Yeah, it just rubs. Okay, this is something I have to think about, because I have no idea how to solve this problem. I might require... Okay, that's too small. May remove the whole assembly here. Okay, we have 2 out of 3. No, I can't do this. Okay, I got it out. Shit, this is a little bit more work than I expected. Again. Okay, here we are. So this is the contraption. Alright guys, so I have decided to MacGyver something like that. Maybe this is too crazy, but hear me out. Alright, so there is those bearings for some reason, probably because of the damage, fall damage. This thing, I don't know if this is, looks like it's not round anymore. Am I crazy or what? Potentially this has to be replaced, but unfortunately I do not have any replacement, so I have to MacGyver something like this. So how it's gonna be? It's gonna be like this, then it's gonna be like this, then it's gonna be like that, and in the right orientation the front bearing is like that. Then when it's gonna be all put together, I hope it's gonna be fine. Okay. The only downside is potentially this bearing with the busted diameter over there. It may have some play, but okay, we will give it a shot. We'll see how that's gonna work. That's looks like it's turning into an experiment. All right, so this little sandwich in the meantime gonna be out. Now we're gonna place our bearing housing back using the appropriate screws. And there were the freaking screwdriver. Oh yeah, here we are. Everything is quite fiddly here, so okay. Looks like it's doing well. Yay! Well, now I can safely assemble everything together, tighten all those screws, and let's give it a shot. Let's see what we got at the end. So assembly order would be a little bit different. So actually it wouldn't be different, it would be the same but in reverse order. So first I'm gonna secure the bottom plate right here, then I'm gonna secure this side and on this side, and here we go. Only 6 screws left in order to have this little puppy put together. Oh yeah, we should not forget about this guy too. So this is first actually. And after I finish with all this, all wires will be properly tightened together. It shouldn't be that complicated as... Okay, I'm gonna shut this down. Everything here is pretty finicky because it's very hard. Alright my friends, so before I actually try to assemble everything, at least this front and front panel, I cleaned everything as much as I could, and also had to MacGyver a power button. So here we are, this is my MacGyvered power button. So yeah, of course it's a little bit different from this one, but hey, I mean, I think I've done a relatively okay job. Okay, so this is printed in PLA. Also, I had to MacGyver a mute button. So this is completely 3D printed again. So it's not the best shape, but at least it repeats one of these buttons. So if I ever gonna come around this sort of spare parts, I will probably put something original, but at least is and I tried to print it in silvery kind of plastic, but obviously the shade is completely different. So anyways, at least we gonna have those buttons. Also I re-glued this button which was broken back on its shaft. So now I have to install all those buttons and shafts back on, including the power button, and I'll continue. So probably I'm gonna start with the power button, because it's probably the most important button in here. So you're gonna just, when you're gonna install this, make sure you're gonna use some like this, and make sure when you're not pushing on this. And probably gonna use the screwdriver just to separate this. Separate and push, right, like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna continue with everything else. So now, only thing I have to remember which goes where. Obviously, this long ones, they are for a different types of tapes and equalization. I think it's supposed to be here, but it's not cooperating. Or like this. This is different. This is go somewhere else. One more. Hope I'm not mistaken how did I install them, because I don't honestly 100% remember how they're supposed to be. Okay, this is working. Okay, one more. Okay, 3. And I think I'm missing one. Am I? I think I'm missing one. Okay, in the meantime, this goes confusing again. This Dolby. Okay, this one goes here. Okay, and there is a whole bunch of small ones. Now I have to figure out where goes these two and where goes these two. So I assume, because these are lower in here, those two holes and those two holes, these are lower, these are higher, this smaller one goes into here. Maybe not. Maybe this goes in here. Definitely not. Oh, yes they do, but they go on the angle. That's a tricky stuff. Here we are. I remember that, on the angle. So they don't go vertical, they go horizontal, like just like that. That's a tricky stuff. So now we have to, of course, I'd rather press it. Oh, it's a calibration button. Like this, and press it. This one takes a little bit more persuasion. Okay, those two, they go here. And they go as is, without any vertical, horizontal. Sorry, they go vertical. Okay. Those are very finicky, so don't really push on them too hard and don't pull on them. So that's the recipe to disaster. So eject button, I cleaned it up as well, goes back in here. And where is my... Oh, here we are. That's the missing one. That goes in here. Nice. Okay, so those two are, one of them goes in here. This is don't remember what it is, auto search button, and this one goes in here. Alright, so we have all buttons installed. So let's remove this, let's disconnect this. So now I guess we can put the tape back, the front of the tape deck back on. Okay, but before that I have to make sure that all wires are connected when they are supposed to be connected. Okay, this is supposed to be here. Okay, power button seems to be okay. Alright, so let's install front. Okay, so the best way of install back this front panel is to keep your cassette deck upwards like this, and then insert your front panel and align all the buttons. It's a bit painful, not painful, but a bit tedious procedure, but that's how we do it. And do not forget to also put this little grounding point right under this aluminium bezel. It has to be, obviously it has to be attached to the ground to shield the whole thing, because this has to be shielded, as well as shield those buttons components as well. So yeah, this is quite important, otherwise you're gonna have noises, especially when you touch these buttons. I already had this happen to my other deck, which is very similar layout. So now also I noticed that one of those resistors, despite the fact that I already tried to clean them up, is still scratchy. So I'm gonna run a little bit more contact cleaner for this guy, and maybe just for all 4 of them, just to make sure it actually does the job properly before I assemble and back and front. So let me screw bunch of screws, 1, 2, 3 on this side, and I think 2 on top, and we will continue. Alright my friends, I think at this stage I think we've done what it can do for the part 1. For the part 1, so what we've done, we tried to investigate the cracks, we tried to fix the cracks in the board. We also investigated the problem with the capstan, and we fixed the problem with the capstan. We also investigated the problem with the auto stop, and that was probably again another impact, result of the impact. Also, we cleaned up everything at the front here, cleaned up the potentiometers, I don't see that, MacGyvered the buttons here and here. What else? I started forgetting things. Let's summarize what we've done so far. The major problem was the cracks. So we have cracks in this area, and we had one crack in this area. So we fixed the cracks in around this relay, and now we have 2 channels properly working. We didn't do any element replacement. The major issue was cracks. I still have to MacGyver some kind of shield for this relay, which would shield it, because even if I put the finger right here, it started buzzing. So there is definitely some interferences. Another problem with what we addressed, that was the problem with capstan. It was rubbing, so that was addressed as well. So also we addressed the problem with auto stop by the broken a special, like a little wheel with notches. So that was fixed. We also fixed something on the front panel. We fixed this power button, so now we have proper power button. We also fixed these buttons. We cleaned up everything. We cleaned up all potentiometers. Yeah, and we also fixed this little button, which is rack mute, which is not really necessary, but it's good to have. This pot knob is still kind of gluing, because this plastic part came out, and I glued it, and it still needs some time to cure, so I'm not gonna put it on just yet. So, but in general, face is clean. Oh, we also fixed the belt, and now counter is working, so counter is good as well. So this is pretty much it in general, and in addition to everything being cleaned up inside the tape mechanism, that's pretty much it. But it took a lot of work, especially MacGyvering those power button and button things. And also had to 3D print as well, little spacer, which you saw in my video, in my previous, which also had to MacGyver a little spacer for the capstan. This is something crazy, no one done this before. I think this not gonna really affect WoW and Flutter too much, or not at all. I hope not at all. That's pretty much it. I think this is gonna be it for this repair and restoration part. Next part would be more like tune up, because when I try to listen to the music with this cassette deck, I noticed it sounds weird. It actually sounds okay, but it's very dull, so highs are absent. Potentially our head is worn out to the point it cannot reproduce highs. We have to double check that. So that's a possibility. There are few other issues which could be a problem. So but all these I will address when I try to tune this deck up. At the moment, everything is working. Tape mech is working. All ins and outs are working. And I just noticed that I have a little piece of Q-tip stuck right here. That's crazy. Oops. And on this note, guys, thank you for watching and see you next time. Take care and stay safe.